Hello and welcome to the final match of the last Masters Series. I'm Randy Buehler, I'm here with Brian Kibler, and we're going to be watching to see whether Bob Maher or Gabriel Nassif will be the last Masters Series champion. These two actually play-tested this matchup last night. It's going to be Tinker against Enchantress, and what should we be looking for, Brian?
Well, I was actually there when the two players were playtesting last night. Originally, Bob Maher had planned on playtesting the matchup with Eric Froelich and I, and while we came to the site after eating dinner, Nassif was playing as Frank Canoe. So Bob just came up and said, came up to Gabe and said, how about we just play this out ourselves? So they started off playing sideboarded games, and Bob won literally all of them.
Really?
Last night, then they played some unsideboarded games, and Gabe managed to take the advantage there.
What's the crucial sideboard card?
The card that really makes a difference in this matchup is Sphere of Resistance. Gabe's deck is based on going off by casting and recasting a bunch of inexpensive spells with Enchantresses and Words of Wind.
Oh, Nassif does not look happy about his first draw.
And the Sphere of Resistance basically just shuts down that plan altogether.
Me too.
Sure. Oh, Nassif keeps it. Could be a bluff. All right, Maher won the die roll. He's playing the Tinker deck.
Nassif cannot be happy about this.
Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith. Remember when these cards were around? Metalworker.
Last time these cards were legal in Standard, Bob Maher was second place in the World Championships in Belgium.
Lost to Finkel, who was playing
the exact same deck.
It's such a degenerate first turn.
It really is.
Quick turn the one there.
Nassif notices.
Nassif's deck is capable of doing some silly things.
Yeah,
it just usually takes him a turn or two.
Nassif's deck generally can start going crazy around turn 3 or 4, but I mean, depends on what's in the rest of Bob's hand, and depends what Nassif has. It could be that he gets fairly close to locked up by then.
How many cards do you have left? 4.
Best 2 out of 3, and that makes each game a little more important than it is over in the Pro Tour.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of room to come back if somebody gets a good draw against you. And like we said, in the playtesting these guys did against each other last night, Maher had the advantage after sideboarding.
Nassif really needs to win game 1. We were actually joking around last night that, since Bob had won every game after sideboarding and Nassif had the advantage before sideboarding, Bob was going to win game 1 today, and Nassif was going to end up winning the match, taking 2 after board.
Well, there's Exploration. That's about as good as Nassif can get on the first turn.
Exploration is what he really wants here, because something like Fertile Ground or Wild Growth can just end up getting locked down under Tangle Wire and Port.
Mm-hmm.
What Bob really wants here is his hand to be Island, Artifact, 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 Stroke.
It's better than tinkering something out?
Yes. He'd rather reload his hand right here, because he could tinker for Helix, but the thing about Helix against Nassif's deck in game 1 is that Frantic Search basically just gets out of it. So,
yeah, Helix doesn't seem like it's at its best in a matchup against Enchantress.
It's fine. I mean, it's actually very important in the matchup to keep them tied down long enough that they can't just go off.
Using the ability.
All right, let's see what's up. Processor, Core, Dynamo.
You can just process it for 10 here and just cast it and make a guy.
Yeah? Dynamo doesn't quite fit in there, does it?
No.
It does if he has a land.
I'm going to pay 10 life.
There you go. 10 life and make a guy, and it's the second time he's tapped that Ancient Tomb, so he's at 6.
Life is pretty much irrelevant against Nassif's deck. The only relevance of life here is Ancient Tomb and Mana Burn.
Yep.
So
he's got a land.
Yep.
So the rest of his hand is what was it?
he has a Masticore.
Masticore and X.
So what's Nassif's route to victory eventually?
Nassif eventually will get. His plan is to get multiple Enchantresses in play, and cast low casting cost enchantments like Wild Growth, specifically Wild Growth, with Words of Wind on the table. And then he's able to float a lot of mana with enchanted lands as well, and Serra Sanctum. Use the Words of Wind to return his Explorations and Wild Growths to recast them and keep getting mana and using Words of Wind.
Okay.
And he can also get infinite mana with Cloud of Faeries in the same way if he has multiple enchanted lands or Serra Sanctum.
Okay.
And eventually just return all of his opponent's permanents with Words of Wind while keeping his board completely stable. And he can literally just kill them with his one Yavimaya Enchantress in his deck. He just draws his entire deck with Enchantresses.
That's the +2/+2.
Yes, cast the Enchantress and just attacks them and kills them. Most of the opponents just concede.
Sure.
He actually didn't know how to go off during the gateway.
Yeah?
He wasn't really sure what he did, what to do. He actually came up to me after he won the gateway. He wasn't qualified for the Masters Series.
That's true. He came all the way through the gateway.
He actually came up to me after the gateway and just said, "Do you think my deck's good? I don't really know how it works. I just beat 3 Goblin decks. They just conceded." It was really amusing, actually. Last night during playtesting, at one point he just showed Bob his hand. He's like, "I think I win," and he didn't actually realize how to go through it at that point. He had to learn last night. Oh, that's a paltry token. They should make player rewards that are just minions, and they just say 10-10 on them because that's how big they almost always are. See, Nassif could actually just go off next turn. It's very hard.
I just drew 1.
Did he really just draw Tangle Wire?
I'd take it.
That would be amazing.
10.
Yeah, I mean, Nassif with 4 lands and Enchantress and Exploration could go off. Maher would like to disrupt him here. Just needs a turn.
Nassif's hand has to be very good to go off this turn. But he can still just play. He can play out multiple Wall of Blossoms or Enchantresses to at least chump block the 10-10s.
Use his ability. Yeah. Sure.
He has a Tangle Wire.
Wow.
Tangle Wire. And end up burning for 1, dropping you to 5. My turn.
Nassif needs to float mana here and
Have a
draw a
Frantic
Frantic
Search.
Search.